Hello and welcome to another Let's Play. Me, GamerWolfSix of the Smoke Room. Before we start, if you're interested in playing this game, it's available for free on itch.io. And if you want to support the people that make this game, and or want the newer versions now, then you can give them $3 on Patreon. So, on the last Let's Play, the person that was shot was Murdoch. But he's more or less fine. And the person that shot him was some young rapscallion that is now dead. And we talked kind of theory and theology with the character that we're romancing. Sorry, it's been like half a month and lots of stuff happened, so can't remember everything. And then we met the mayor and Murdoch's mother, who was none too pleased. Woof. Anyways, let me just make sure my face is correct. More or less. How frustrating. Sam? You're leaving so soon again? It's not like I'm trying to sneak out. I'm having to go talk with William again. I just have to go talk with William again. She sighs. What's wrong? You know I have to go. I know. That's not why I'm mad. You're mad? So, what is it then? Also, I'm wondering if some of these people are direct descendant... No, wait. Are the ancestors of people from the game Echo. Because she looks a lot like that one fox girl. Is it because I'm not around as much during the day? She looks at me with some annoyance. I have other friends too, Sam. And yeah, I do miss you a little. But this is bigger than just some social insecurity. What is it then? Well, as of late, everyone in town seems to think the invincible urban detective is going to solve all of our problems. They act as if a single criminal is at the heart of it all, and that shooting them with a gun will make all the miners happy again. Or brings respectable jobs to women here. Hey, Horan is respectable. You know, sex work is work. Or that the native sheriff reflects a golden opportunity for Echo's Meseta. I have no idea what that means. He's not even Meseta, Sam. His tribe is from the northeast. Oh, I guess it's a native tribe? Maybe one made up in this world. The stupidity is a butter churner, Samuel. And my brain is going solid. I don't think any of those things, though. I know you don't. Like I said, it just reminds me of all the people who do when you have these private conferences with him. It just reminds me of all the people who do think of that. My voice whispers. He's helping me. She whispers back. But wouldn't the best way to help you be just keeping his mouth closed? I've got to go. Don't forget the shopping lit. I snatch it out of her hand and make my way towards the back entrance. What are we shopping for anyways? Like more liquor? Condoms? Dunno. I decided to skip breakfast in the kitchens and make my way over to William's place. Oh, yeah, I guess we have a kitchen too. When I get to the sheriff's office, I knock on the door. I expect the gruff coyote to meet me, but I just hear the cheerful voice of Todd instead. Oh my, it's Samuel. Come on in. I'm eating pies. I blink. The office is tidy, as if the accident never had happened. Even the window looks just like it did. Just looking at the audio thing. I didn't expect to see you this soon. By his scent, he probably wasn't planning on seeing anybody. Man, you didn't wipe your glands, did you? Do you, perchance forgot to freshen up, Todd? Huh? You're a bit, well, ottery today. Oh. The otter titters nervously. Sorry about that. I can't abide a mess, and that window needed fixing. Wait. Did you sleep, Todd? I napped. You can't be serious. I'm always serious. When it comes to things of that matter, anyhow. Is the body still in the jail? No, we took him to the coroner hours ago. To identify and officiate the body and all. Is that where William is right now? No, he's at the pawn shop, trying to trace the sale of the gun, I reckon. Which shop? Not sure. I mean, my voice is higher than it, but it just still kind of feels like I'm being drowned at. Not sure, but we'd probably just get in the way if we intruded. So it's best to wait for him in the back till he gets back. I'm gonna eat these pies, though. The other stretches his arms and torso, yawning. I keep on feeling like I should be watching out for some murder here, but it's like, oh right, I'm the person that did self-defense. Think you make it all that long without dozing off? Hit my second wind, so I'll be happy, but I won't fall asleep. You keep a lot of odd hours? Not as odd hours as yours, I suspect. Fair enough. Though I'm usually done with everything by 10 and up at 6. That's much more orderly than I'd have figured. Sometimes there are extraordinary situations, but that's the gist of it. It's just another job. Sure, but it's hard to think about how somebody gets into work like that. Sometimes it's just a matter of looking at something and somebody looking back. Not so different from how you were looking at the Cliff fellow yesterday. Huh? Oh. You were thinking about him? Not as much about him. More about what he's like. How do you mean? Well, he's fancy, but he still wears a man's clothes and sounds like a man. Cliff, he's the stoat? Sometimes he acts like how I think a pretty lady would act. It made me confused about how to treat him. But instead of just him, it started making me confused about how to treat everybody. Why's that? Well, my mama always said the most important thing is to treat a lady right, but also it wound a man's dignity to treat him like he's soft. But how do you treat a man who acts like a lady at times? It would be wrong to recognize he's soft, would it? Wrong not to recognize he's soft, would it? I guess. Where exactly is this all going? Oh, I want his pussy. I mean, I was just thinking, you must have met all sorts of people like that Cliff fella. I've never met anyone like Cliff. I meant all sorts of people who don't act like you'd assume they should act. Like how everybody says we're supposed to act. You must know all about people in ways I probably never know. Like? Well, like bodies for one. I'd certainly feel real bad if I didn't know much about bodies by now. Ooh. Such as everybody's bodies really much different from one another? I'd say so. Though I guess there's a lot of similarities if you don't think about it. Cocks and clits look pretty much like the same thing, one just bigger. Also, does that mean Sam also does the ladies? Ooh. And they both swell up, and both can squirt. I didn't know that about a clit. I mean, granted, I haven't had much or any doings transpiring with women. The artery smell is a lot stronger now. Seriously, put your pits down. I think Todd's aroused, but he probably doesn't even realize it. Never thought I'd have a conversation like this with him. I'm sure I don't have to explain the squirting. Do you like pleasing ladies too, then? I'm not sure how to answer a question like that. I don't hate it. It's like feeling nothing, because it's just another job. Aren't the men just jobs too? You don't have to put it like that. Sure. But they feel different and smell different. And when I please a man, something different happens to my body. There's a sickening sort of rush that makes me come harder. I have less control over it. And it feels really good in a way that other things never can be. The otter nods, his paw in his lap, and he squeezes it. This has been interesting, Sam. I have a lot to think about. I can tell. Todd looks away. Please don't tell nobody. I'm not in the position to, even if I wanted. Like, literally everyone I know is gay, or at least bi, or demi, or something. At least not straight. The otter lets out a sigh. Thank you. The otter taps his webby paws on his lap. I'll be back in a jiffy. I have to go take care of something upstairs. Mostly pies. Take your time. I appreciate that. He's up there for a while. When he finally comes down, he brings a bunch of items to freshen up the room. I think opening the window might help. Todd lightens a few sticks of incense in the room to freshen it up. Wait, you got incense in the, sheriff's office? Though, considering the strength of William's nose, I doubt it would do much good. He doesn't hear the front doorknob in the hall jiggle for a while. Wait, we wouldn't? We don't hear. Okay. I smell William's familiar peppery canine smell before I see him. He smells like peppers? Oh good, you're already here. He looks distracted suddenly. Then he sniffs the air. Todd, what the? Why does my office smell like a shrine? Ah. The new window smelled queer, so I thought some incense would help. William smells the air again. He squints. We'll talk about this later. I found out who brought the gun. Who did? Like I said, I didn't think it would be difficult to trace. Huxley Green bought the gun on the day he assaulted Mr. Tibbs. I do not know these names. Who's Mr. Tibbs? So, god damn it, somebody's calling me. I'll be right back. Sorry about that. That's the problem with, living with family. Something I'll be like, Gamer Wolf, I need you. Well, what did they need me for? To squeeze some lemons. Anyways, at least it gave me time to look up who these two are. That's the rat guy that assaulted Stoat. Anyways, so that's why the target was Cliff. I knew that fucker was hateful, but this is an excessive amount of spite for a fellow he had just met in a day, and also beat the shit out of. Then he disappeared without telling nobody? Maybe he hopped a train so he could lie low until things brushed over. It's a possibility. We don't know enough to speculate. I think it's time we paid Miss Green a visit. Should I stay here? I'd feel more comfortable if you came along, because, I deputized you in an odd sort of way. Huh? An extra pair of eyes is always helpful. Frankly, seeing more of what I see every day would do me good for the matters we have previously discussed. Up and at 'em, boys. Let's go. Todd grabs his vest from the coat rack, while William and I head for the door. The three of us walk together. Some folk wave. Others turn their gazes. Marcy Green lives in a community of clustered log cottages in the middle of town. I remember how the smell of burnt sugar and butter used to tempt passing townsfolk to stick around for a little while. Years ago, Miss Green's front window always used to stay open. Except her husband didn't like that so much, so she dropped the habit. But it's hard for old habits to die, ain't it? Strange. That window is open again. The heavenly scent of cinnamon, butter, and huckleberries tickles my nose. Hello? Hello? The girlish chirp from the window, and I see something shifting around inside. Miss Bronson, you've brought Mr. Adler for a visit? And someone new as well. That rat The rat that greets us at the door is plump and pretty, but her outfit is difficult not to stare at. 'Cause it's colorful? It's a bright red dress, but made entirely out of yarn, with mismatched buttons on the wide straps. Oh yeah. It's like a dress you could easily picture on a child, or a doll, but the effect is particular on a grown woman. You look happy, Marcy. Right as raindrops. Come on in. Come in. You boys must be starving. William leads the way inside, following the plump little rat's humming. She doesn't look exactly plump. The inside of her cottage is much larger than I would have thought, for just her and her husband living alone. The table seats 6. The first thing I can think about is that in this house is that there's too many knitted things. I guess they were expecting children. Potted succulents sit in the center of the table, with a cozy wrapped around them. The place mats are knitted too. Thankfully, the plates are not. I'll be back with a slice of warm pie for each of you in a jiffy. I really need to, when I post one of these videos, post a link to that ASMR of Todd, I think, eating pies. Just kind of funny. Oh, I don't need none. She's already hustling into the other room. I finish my breath and take a look around me. The couch against the window is covered with many knitted dolls, and I don't think there's enough room for sitting. Todd looks at me and follows my gaze. Huh? Those weren't there yesterday. William looks too. There's more than a countable number of crude dollies with embroidered mouths and buttoned eyes. I flinch as I see a spatula flop a runny slice of pie on the plate in front of me. It's rude to stare, you know. My dollies are shy. I give William an uneasy look. He doesn't look back. Todd tells me that these weren't here before. He leans in, speaks softer, and gives her a smile. What gave them the courage to come out? After she put a slice of pie on each plate, she carefully put the dish down on a cozy and took a seat, sitting up straight and setting her paw on her lap. Well, truth be told, I'm too simple to make anything pretty. But I don't think you have to be pretty to be loved. And I love these dollies very much. Some girls at this schoolyard were nice enough to show me how to make them, but I still have to practice. Were you hiding them? She grins again. Maybe. My eyes and ears register what's going on around me, but I'm not sure my mind can yet. Oh yeah, that reminds me. I don't think I played this game since I played Echo, and it's like, spoiler, I guess, from that game. It's like, yeah, some people went missing, and then hysteria happened, and then lots of people left or something like that. Because, you know, that game is set in the same town, but much later. Going back to things you love, Marcy, do you have any suspicions about where your husband might be? Her smile goes away, and her eyes widen, then look away, as if trying to recall something. Well, he usually turns up at that awful saloon, drinking all of that poison. Sometimes it takes a while for him to get back, but he always comes back. She laughs. It's just never been 3 days. It's just never been 3 days before. Her glance switched sideways. I used to be bossy about not letting him go there, but I've been good for a whole year. She looks back at William, shaking her head. No, I don't tell him what to do anymore. He's nicer when he gets what he wants. She leans in and whispers, but isn't everyone? My gaze wanders back to her walls, and I catch something I hadn't seen before. There's a quilted blanket tacked to the wall. I thought it'd just be strange colors at first, but then the texture on parts of it is different. Like half of it is covered in mold. I know Grandma's shawl isn't pretty anymore either. I turn to see her, looking right at me. Huh? My friend's just curious, ma'am. Don't let his looks distract you. She's smiling ear to ear. The way it sags reminds me of Mama's smile. Sometimes she has to smile for me when things aren't so good. Her smile goes away, and she pouts her lips. Ooh, that look. Faraway stare. She looks above us, moving her head in a circular pattern, like she's looking at an invisible fly, then looks back at us. It's fun to arrange things in the house how I want them. Yeah, it seems like she's being like, yeah, he ain't coming back. Also, all of a sudden I got twang. But I think I've had my fun. Enough fun for a while. She puts her fork down and starts to tap her wrist against the table. When do you think he's coming back? Todd stopped eating his pie. We don't know, Marcy. We might have to look for him. Was he going to the saloon the last time you saw him? She stares at nobody in particular. That's what he said. But he had already went in the morning. He never comes back, and then goes to the saloon again. He never comes back and then goes to the saloon again? He always stayed for as long as he could. But that's what he did that day. Sorry, for some reason my mind just can't read. So, where do you think he really went? Sometimes he threatened to take a train and leave me all alone if I wasn't good. Sometimes I thought that this would be swell, because it might mean I could share my pies how I'd like, and play with my toys for as much as I wanted. But I never said that to him. So I don't think he took the train. But sooner or later, he always brings up walking those tracks. Maybe he wanted a model train. Maybe he liked his toys too, but he didn't want to tell me about it. My fork goes down. As good as the pie smells, I can't find my appetite. William stands, his plate entirely finished. Thank you for your cooperation, Miss Green. We'll continue the search. She looks up and smiles at him. Her gaze drifts away again, and it doesn't seem like she can fixate on anything or anybody. Todd, watching William stand up, starts scarfing down the rest of his pie as fast as he can. I decide to force at least one bite, and it's the best pie I've ever tasted. We're far enough away from the house before I can find the courage to speak again. What the hell was that? A lead. If a weak one. We'll scout the train tracks next. Are you sure that would be productive use of the time? Why wouldn't it be? I thought Miss Green was being very helpful. Nothing about all that made you feel uneasy? Not too uneasy. I think Miss Green is nice. Sure, Todd. I said it was a lead. When you have a lead, you try it. When it goes nowhere, you move on. We don't have time to dandy about these things. I hear something in the distance. There's a mechanical puttering or sputtering. A shining automobile turns a street corner in front of us and begins to slow down. When the car reaches us, it slows to a stop. The glass window rolls down, and the face of a ram smiles back. Hey, here's the fella. Sheriff Adler. Just the man I wanted to see. Oh, he has those square eyes. Me and my associates don't have time for leisurely dalliances right now, Mr. Hendricks. Before you rebuff me again, please consider the exchange of valuable information. So he's the guy that owns the mine and I guess wants to own the town. I so desperately need your help. I can't fathom a man in your position wanting for anything. Desperate may be something of a hypocrite. Desperate may be something of a... But if you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. You have nothing I need. Not recent news of your ex-wife? William stops walking. Ooh, this is music from Adastra. That's a dangerous bluff to make with me. You're going to be real careful about what you say next. I'd like to discuss it with you in the vehicle. If I go, my men go with me. Only that one. His eyes flicked to me. Only one of my men isn't driving. He can only watch one armed man. How does he know I'm not armed? Permission to scout ahead, sir. You must be talking about the railroad tracks. I'd rather you go get some rest. Report back to the station tomorrow, Deputy. Yes, sir. The ram opens the door of the car for us. I get in first, and Mr. Hendricks follows. Then William. Where to, sir? His name's Wolf. He's actually a fox. I don't know. Joke. Just drive around the block. I'll let you know where to stop. The gold eyes of the other wolf are watching me from the passenger seat. I look away. As if I have told you before, William, there is an agenda against my livelihood. The ram pulls out a scroll of paper from his pocket. My secretary has compiled a list of suspicious individuals. Though some oppose me in secret, like the cowards that they are, others move openly. Many of the latter are jobless, so they have nothing better to do than bite at my heels. I am certain that you will discover many illegal activities if you comb through this list. You better not be bribing me with a check inside that roll of paper. Doing it to a sheriff no less, could land you in federal prison for years. Bribery? The ram lifts his chin and laughs. Poppycock. It's merely a helpful list of suggestions, just to improve the efficiency of your duties. I would hate for the townsfolk to think that you're loafing around while we lack so much justice in this town. Stop the car. I see that driver's eyes meet the ram, but he nods. The vehicle slows to a stop. I'm embarrassed for you, James. You really are entirely out of touch. Even the well-off folks are sitting around at home, barely able to take care of themselves. Because there's no stable sense of community for families. The people in this town want order, not justice. But order has a funny way of unraveling here. Things seem peachy at first, sure, but then they go to hell in a handbasket in the blink of an eye. Because we just have clusters of unskilled, isolated strangers motivated by fear to survive. Your strangers, your fear. And if that weren't the case, I don't think I'd be employed here. I know this town likes to pretend that it's God's gift to the world, but it's a whole lot of nothing pretending to be something, and I think deep down you know that. Something always fills the gap, James, and it's not necessarily gonna be you. If I may be frank, you're being incredibly dramatic. Am I? No man has brought more business to Echo than me. Our population has grown substantially each month. We have a wonderful school, star attractions, desirable transit to up-and-coming major hubs, and natural wonders untapped for tourism. This town ain't a World Fair material, James. You look like a damn clown in his honking thing compared to all of the wagons. Mr. Hendricks raises his voice. Machines like this will change the world. When paved highways span the nation, then everyone will come to us even faster than trains allow. Our ore, my ore, is building every big city in this region. Echo is a thrilling, exciting place to live. And anybody who cannot see that deserves no less than scorn and mockery. The only excitement these people get comes from the shit that they put in their bodies, and, well... His eyes flicked to me for a moment, then back to James. Seriously, dude? Come along, Sam. We don't need to waste any more time here. He opens the door. Wait. William's tawny tail is already following him out the door. Your wife arrived in town this morning. His wife? I see William's spin on the ball of his left heel. What did you say? A coyote reaches for his belt, and I feel James flinch beside me. The movement in the seats in front of me stay William's hand. She's at the hip right now. Shock and dread fill his face, then a sense of urgency. He turns, bolting away from us, faster than I've ever seen him go. Wait, the list. He's gone. Mr. Hendricks hauls out a second of remarkable frustration. Then he turns to me, and the anger melts away. Now then, you seem like a boy with a good head on your shoulders. I sure don't hear that very much, but it's okay. Please, take the list. Maybe you can drill into his thick skull that I may have helped him find that culprit. You sure haven't, not unless I'm on the list. This is awkward. He doesn't listen to me either, but I'll see what I can do. Good on you, boy. Good on you. There's always hope and a prayer. He slips the list into the front pocket of my shirt. Off you go. Thank you, sir. I slide my fingers under the door handle and push. Huh? The door doesn't open. By the way, you don't agree with that pig-headed idiot said, do you? I'm not sure why you're asking me. Mr. Adler and I are very important men, and we clearly have some passionate disagreements. But you offer an entirely different kind of perspective. So tickle my curiosity. Well, I think Echo's a goddamn hellhole. But in honesty, it's no better than a swamp I crawled out of. It seems to have some sort of mysterious appeal for folks like Dora, and that fox and his family. The more I think about it, I wouldn't be surprised if both William and James are correct about some things. I can't tell what the future holds, so I can't give an honest, straight answer about who I think is right. Nah, I think William's full of shit. You could... I don't know. I would have just been like, there's probably some points on both sides, but I haven't thought too much into it. The ram laughs. The big city made him too pessimistic. I'm sure he'll see things my way eventually. The ram leaned over and flicked the knob on my door. The door handle lets me out this time. You see? He winks at me. I'm really quite nice, wouldn't you say? I exit quickly, but hopefully not too quickly. You said it. He waves me off as his automobile rumbles to a start again. When the car is out of sight, I start running in the direction of the hip. Well, I think that's a good time to call it, with us seeing, possibly William's wife. Who knows? Could the ram be correct? Could we be a bit late to getting here? Who knows? But yeah, new character? Actually 2 of them. And missing persons. Hyena. So, and this is play. So please comment, guys, comments, tell me what you like, dislike, tips, or otherwise. If you like me, YouTube and like Secret, then please like, subscribe, and share the rest of the episode. Please remember to spay near ammo to help control the pet population. And if you want to play this game, free on itch.io. And if you want to support the people that make this game, and or, you know, get the more up-to-date version earlier, then Patreon, $3 a month. And until next time, let's play me, GamerWolfSix, of a game that has the same music as Adastra. I mean, if you got good-ass music, why not reuse it, you know? So thanks and see ya. Especially if, you know, you made it in the first place. You know, same people. So, thanks and see ya.